get away from it, right? So sometimes, like when I don't go live and stuff, it's not that I don't want to go live. It's that I just need to take a deep breath.
Well,
we
all got to decompress at some point. And let me kind of go back on a little bit of that too. Ladies, please don't take me wrong whenever I was saying that, because absolutely y'all do carry a heavy load along with us. And oftentimes y'all are the backbone whenever that man comes walking through the door, or whether you like Hannah and I, we work together, and she helps me in every kind of way, and she also takes my aggravations at work, I guess. It's not that I'm unloading on her. It's just, yeah, I mean, I get aggravated with work or whatever the situation is at hand, but once we roll them tools up and we get in that truck and head home, I drop every bit of that. About 20 minutes. By the time I'm down the road, 20 minutes, I done forgot about what was back there. And now it's time to transition over to whatever we got to do to get home.
In that aspect, Tim, because mine follows me. I mean, when something's in there, I can't get it out. I can't let it go, right? So that's the like, give you an example. I'm gonna show y'all something, my messy room, but I'm gonna show you something. So my wife's computer died a few weeks ago, right? And I couldn't figure out what in the world was wrong with it. So now, down in my floor over here, I've got two computers. That's her old computer case with a brand new motherboard, processor, and everything. Another computer case with a brand new motherboard and processor and everything in it. So technically, I built two computers. I couldn't find out what the problem was, right? Boy, my desk is a wreck. But you know what? I ended up going and buying a brand new computer out of the box at the store and gave up on those because I was staying up late nights thinking about what is going on with this computer, and it just gets locked in there, and I can't get off of it.
You fixate on things.
What's that?
I said you fixate on things.
Yep, and it's hard, man. It causes me stress. Like,
you know, you should look up, Bob. I'm sure you've heard it, but if it's been a while, one of my all-time favorite hymns is "One Day at a Time." Look up the words in those lyrics.
I'll look it up. I've heard it before. Matter of fact, I think wasn't there a famous country singer redid it back 70 years ago?
I mean, Alan Jackson, is that part of Alan Jackson's hymn? He done?
No, I think it was a woman. Was it
probably Dolly Parton?
Who?
I think Patsy Cline did a version of it.
Yeah.
That's probably the one I'm thinking of. But I mean, it's everything. So even like Brad, my buddy, right? His problem with his colonies, that kept me up more than it kept him up. Because as soon as there's a problem, I started trying to think, how can I help? How can I help? How can I help? How can I help? Right? And so you go down a rabbit hole with that, and that's my personality flaw. I've said it lots of times, right, on the stream. When I want to let things go, I can't let them go, right? Or what is it that Tater Salad said, right? You had the cops told him he has the right to remain silent. He says, yes, but I do not have the ability. That is how my mind works. Yep, you're right. I probably shouldn't say anything, but since I'm not saying anything, I'll say it anyway, right? That's kind of how it works. But I just have to make some changes. So that's what we're doing.
It'll line on out for you.
So I appreciate it. It's it is a constant struggle with me. So we're just doing what we can, and got the bees ready to best I can get them ready for the moment, and I'm sitting at about 43 right now, and have 25 queens coming in. So in those 43, if I can take 2 or 3 frames of brood for each 25 queens, then that's 50 to 75 frames of brood in bees that have to be procured to put Jose's queens in when they get here.
Thankfully, we went on ahead around the end of November, early December, whenever we pulled the last of the supers off and what colonies got taken out with the beetles and all that stuff. We sat out there for it actually turned in about 2.5 days, but got all the frames cleaned up, knocked off all the propolis, scraped down whatever needed to be scraped down, cleaned the boxes up, and that way, when we transition to where we are now, all we got to do is maybe, and I'll probably try like Minnesota Mike and a couple others mentioned, getting a heat gun or blow dryer.
Fresh.
And freshen that wax up a little bit. If we got to re-wax them, that's the extent of our workload. And we can just go to, start stacking boxes and get them ready for like them swarms. Oh, Ed, didn't you just get on a new swarm or something?
Oh, yeah, today I went out there, had to cut the grass and stuff, so I was walking around just checking to see, just visually checking. They come boiling right out of that box. Come boiling out.
Hanley's Homestead asked
you should like the video.
What my goal number was for this year. I don't have one. The first year I didn't put a number on the number of hives that I wanted to get to. I've kind of changed my mindset that number really, all it does is make me make stupid decisions. And it's not the number. It's my aspiration to get that number and not really consider what it's doing to the hives that I'm getting stuff from to make that number. Right? Does that make sense? So what I found is that if I say I need 50 colonies, then I split no matter what to get to 50 colonies. And what usually happens is I'm making my mother colonies 2 week. And by the end of the season, they're 2 week because I've worked all year to get 50 colonies. And I do have 50. But the problem is they're 2 week going into winter. And then I end up losing more than I probably would have if I would have just went with a lesser number and made sure they were really strong going into it. So this year, my goal was to keep the colonies that came out of winter strong and try to stop them from swarming, which worked mostly. One of them just decided it was going to do whatever it wanted to do. And then I went ahead and added the nukes. So those nukes would have time in their box, fresh. Well, I was doing fresh foundation, but I pulled those out and put comb in to get them to build up. So if they're going to draw comb, I'll have them draw comb in a honey super, or maybe they can make some honey this year. And my real number is not in colonies, but in honey production. I want the honey numbers to go up. So if I make over 650 pounds this year, that'll be the best season I've ever had. And that's more important to me than actual physical colonies out there. Because in the end of the day, less boxes. If you can have less colonies and make more honey, that's better than having more colonies and making less honey.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're doing more work for less reward. So just trying to condense it down a bit.
Okay. Well, Ed, The, you caught your swarm. You got them.
Yeah, I got them. They're locked in the box right now. I probably should have moved them earlier, but I'm gonna leave them where they're at for the night. Probably do it tomorrow when I get off of work. But Bob, I like the video. It has some product placement in it. I wasn't really trying to do, but it was in there. It's like
Oh, dude,
several times.
what? I haven't
Several
caught
times.
I'll check it out. I appreciate it.
Well, that ought to get you.
Yeah, there was one time.
18.
17 right now, not 18.
Almost.
I'm at 17 right now. But that bottle was laying on the blanket where I knocked the bees off, and there's a big old group of bees on top. The girls were like all over that bottle's laying there. And I thought it was funny.
They will go to it. It's just a matter of the funny thing is, and this is I have terrible luck catching swarms in my own yard. I can't catch a swarm in my own yard, and most of them that talking to the dirt rooster is that I'll go shake a swarm in a box with a frame of old comb or whatever, and I'll leave them locked up for 2 days, and I'll go back and check them. Yep, they look good in the box. And then the third day, it's kind of like Easter. The third day they rise and leave again. So it's
but the thing is, they didn't come from the box. They came out of the box. They didn't go from box to box. They bivouacked, and I had to get them.
That's it. That's how mine were. The bivouac. I shook them in and lock them in for a couple of days to get it nice and scented up, and then they still decided they wanted to take off. So. Well, hey Keith, I know where you can find a ton more of them bottles. Just saying, if you need one, I know where you can get them. Oh, check this out. So, when I was in Canada, Brad gave me one of these for marking. It's a paint stick. I don't know if you can see it. It's a paint stick, and allows you to write on top of the boxes, right? Like your wooden boxes, and leave notes like mated queen, whatever you want to write on there. It's not very, you're not going to write like cursive small, but it allows you to write notes on it. And that's a very useful tool. But last time I ordered marking pens, the guy at the Competitive Advantage people sent me this one. And it's the same deal, same paint stick deal, but it's got like a glue stick type of thing, so you can keep pushing the pen out as you use it up. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Bob, that's deodorant, sir.
But these things have come in handy to write notes on top of the wooden lid and stuff and because it's a paint, kind of like if you went to the junkyard, sometimes they'll have stuff written on the parts with something like this. It can rub off and come off over time, but just if you just leave it there, the weather and stuff isn't gonna burn it off. I do add drawn comb, and to be honest with you, I don't put a lot of traps up like out in the woods and stuff. I don't do that. Most of mine are right around my yard to just try to catch my own swarms. And then most of mine are people calling me, I got a swarm in my bush, and I go shake them in, right? So, yeah, lumber crayons. There you go. They sell those in 5 colors. Which ones? Those paint sticks? I don't know. He sent me this as a trial to check it out because I ordered two boxes of these. And they're in paper, so I mean these are good. I mean they work. but he sent me this one to try out, so I didn't know if that was something that I was going to add.
Oh, leg cramp.
Oh, like, are you
Leg
okay?
cramp hanging out of a tree. I just got a leg cramp. That's from hanging out that tree today.
Man down, man down.
Drink you some pickle juice, man.
And I know that stuff works. Also, there's mustard. Put a little bit of mustard in your mouth.
Mustard do it. Yes.
Then
What,
then
cramp?
swallow it.
Pickle juice just tastes better straight.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about using the markers like in a. I think that they're trying to ask you if they're different colors. If
Oh,
they're
they might.
smaller, paint,
They might.
on the back of the bee.
Well, the other thing I did, and this is a Sam thing, and we were out there marking. So what we would do is we would take, let's say this was the end of a frame, right? On every one of the ends of the frames, we would make a dot on the same side, like one side of the box would all get a color dot, right? He usually uses the year color of the queen that year, so he knows what year he put the frame in there, right? How old that frame is. But
That's what Blaine was just saying.
Mm-hmm.
but also, if you do that, then when you're doing an inspection, you know that all the colors need to go in and line up the same way when you put that frame back in the box, right? So you're not accidentally, and I've done it before, right? I've grabbed a frame, I've looked at it, and I've spun it around a few times, and then I've set it in. And if the dot's the wrong direction, then I know that I've reversed it, right? I can just make sure all those dots are lined up on the same side, and you won't have to worry about rearranging the box on them. So like if you get a fat spot on one side, then when you flip it around, you're not putting that fat side on the wrong side against some brood or something like that. So
I was going to say, I appreciate you putting that up there. If nothing else, if Dirt Rooster was still in here, maybe he can kind of give you an idea of what all they use.
Well, yeah, the 36 will go from corner to corner. If you got a big slab, the 26s will go from the top to the bottom of a medium. You know, if you have to put a couple across.
I just buy them in the big bag like this.
Yeah, the fat boy rubber bands. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they just get a big old. I think I got that on Amazon. Not that I use them a lot. I use them for other things, but
How much that bag cost you for a big bag like that? You remember?
no, I could. Let me look it up for you. See if
Check
I
it out.
find it out.
Usually the ones we find are just the old small.
Bag.
Yeah, there ain't probably 10 or 20 in them little bags.
Let me see.
That's a good subject to bring up this time of the year too, Keith. Glad you could kind of give the folks an idea on what to pick up.
This work real well with cutouts.
They got them on Amazon. I mean, that looks about like what.
That's a good idea.
If you get the Amazon basic ones, you can get 600 rubber bands for $14.
Oh, heck yeah.
And 600 rubber bands, that's kind of like a lifetime supply of rubber bands for me.
Well, Steve Amos, appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
Let's see who the lucky winners are.
Oh, Kelly got one. Tom Bruce Brown, She is Sunshine, and Murdoch's Honeybee.
Well, congratulations, y'all, and thank you much, Mr. Steve Amos, for doing that for folks.
Appreciate that.
We're gonna have to go check out the Amazon or the.
Here, I'll drop a link in the chat there.
Michael Buck, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, it says size 33.
Oh, 33.
That's what that one was, yeah. I don't know if these are 33s. I just bought these because I needed to have some, and I don't know that I needed 1.5 million of them, but I got them. So
I was going to say to Michael Buck that the closest Office Depot to us is about 25 miles one way.
Yeah.
And we do our absolute best to stay away from the big city. So, yes, I soon stay up here in our piney woods as much as we can. When we have to go, we go. Don't get us wrong, but
I'll order on Amazon in a heartbeat to keep from.
that's true. But that's something we do need to get back on hand, is get some rubber bands, especially the way the phone has been picking up the last few days, as far as coming to check on bees and this and a swarm over here and all that. We even thought about calling, well, the little city where Hannah's grandma lives up there. That's the only one we thought about calling, because we don't want to be all over the county doing this, but at least giving our number to their police department and saying, hey, look, if y'all get a call on some swarms, we'll come get them.
hey, are you guys listed on? Did you do the Google claim your business thing for honeybees, or are you just doing word of mouth pretty much?
We've got some kind of, a year or two ago, I'd done something on Google, but I think it's just like if you search beekeepers in this area, I don't know if it's on what you're talking about.
Well, when you claim your business as being a beekeeping business, a lot of times when people search beekeepers near me for either honey or bee removal or swarm catch, whenever they Google beekeeper near me, whatever's closest to them, those pop up, right? So a lot of times I'll get calls from that. Today I did actually get a honey sale from that. I deleted it, so let me see if I've got. I always forget that localhoney.net, I think is what it is. Trash, that's where it'd be. Honeyfinder.org. Sold a pint of honey off of that, so if you haven't registered with them, I would get a few of them off of there.
We don't blame her, Lee. Not at all.
I was fixing to type in. I don't blame her a bit, Lee. No, I'll drive like in the little town by the house, but if we go in the city, no. My blood pressure's too high just riding in that traffic. I ain't fixing to drive in.
It's like whenever you get into downtown Mobile, most of downtown Mobile is like, well, Mobile and New Orleans are sister cities anyway. So a lot of it is set up. The buildings look the same, the French and Spanish look and all that. I mean, it's beautiful down there, don't get us wrong, but
yeah,
most of it is one-way streets.
Yeah.
So
and I'll get lost with a GPS screaming directions at me, but you throw in one-way streets and it's a recipe for disaster with Hannah driving.
no, it's one of them.
Happening.
I had that problem in San Francisco one time.
I ain't lost nothing out there.
I got off a bridge and I got off the wrong exit. Yeah, I got off the wrong exit off the bridge coming across the bay into San Francisco. I got off the wrong one, and I was like, where I hit was all one-way streets in the wrong direction. So finally, one place I saw was empty. I went the wrong way down a one-way street just to get back up to get on that highway again.
Hey, there still is a law on the books, and I was looking at crazy laws in Alabama not long ago, but in Mobile, there's still a law on the books that at nighttime, you can have your wife on the hood of that vehicle with a lantern and go the opposite way down the one-way street, but it's only at nighttime. But she's got to be holding that lantern on the hood
She's
of the
got to be
vehicle.
brave enough to sit on the hood of the vehicle with her husband driving.
True story.
Did
Man.
hey, did you tell anybody about that little restaurant spot I went to the other day?
Now go ahead and tell them about it.
So I went to a spot one of my coworkers was telling me about for lunch, and what made it even more special, which I didn't share this with y'all when I told you, Tim, but I was this last week was probably the worst week at work that I could have had. So it came at the best time it could have happened at, right? So it's a little country diner, and we went in there, and first time I'd been in there and my boss had been in there. We were sitting there and ordered our food, and we're sitting there talking, running our mouths, and she came up and she said, "Are y'all believers?" "Yes, ma'am, we're believers." She said, "Well, I want to say blessing for y'all." So the waitress at this place says blessing for every table that she comes to, which is the first time I've ever heard of anybody publicly in a public restaurant promoting saying the blessing as part of their service, right? So every waitress that comes to the table says blessing for people over the food, and which for me it was perfect timing because I was not in the right mind before then, right? I was angry and upset, and that kind of brought me down a little bit, so that was a good thing for me that day. And then and then the funny part is that y'all know, especially Southern people, y'all really know, is that when it's time for blessing, it's time for blessing. Y'all don't quit messing around over there, right? So it's spring break time, right? And her kids were at one table, and and the lady, it was her kids, her children. So she comes out there and she says, "All right, y'all, it's time for the blessing." And right in the middle of the restaurant, she says, "I said it's time for the blessing. Put them phones down." And I started laughing because I know they were one step from getting whooped right there in front of God and everybody. Right?
That mom voice come out.
Lord. And the other people are there with their hamburgers, right, for their lunch, waiting on the blessing to get done or the beat down to ensue. One of the two things that was getting ready to happen. And served them up. So it was pretty fun. I don't know. I chuckled. Y'all would have chuckled too, because you guys probably been there before in your life too, right?
Oh, I had to bite my tongue, keep from busting out laughing.
You go, Mama. You go.
That's it. She put it on them. So.
Hey, but some of them Southern women, if you do bust out laughing, you get in just as much trouble as them youngins do.
Yeah, it was pretty funny that she turned from, "All right, y'all, it's time for the blessing. Put them phones down. Don't make me reach over there."
It'd be funny to have some adults on the side cheering the mama on,
Hannah, what was it your mama used to get y'all in the back seat?
A buggy whip.
A buggy whip.
Yes. I am not taking that up. It's still over at my daddy's house. I think my grandpa actually bought it.
I used to get the fly swatter.
I had a flashback from this car.
I'm serious. I will have flashbacks when I run up on them things. Them suckers hurt. She wasn't kidding around.
But she was driving.
You don't want me to stop this car.
Oh, you don't want that to happen.
But that's why she got the whip. She didn't have to stop anymore. And I'm telling you, she had expert aim going 60 miles an hour down the road. She could wear you out.
I think my dad had 8-foot arms. I sat behind him. He could just swing around and he could hit me at will wherever I was. Even if I was trying to, bob it or something, he'd be like, "Pow!" He'd still get me.
My mother was a master of what I call flop food.
Flop food?
Yeah, because she'd get you the flip flop, but she'd be across the room and you say, "Oh, she can't get you from over there," right? You look over, she's bending over, pulling it off. And then you just turn around. She ain't gonna get me. And by that time, she'd be able to go inside the head, and you look back over, she's putting it back on. And I'm like, how the heck did she get? How did she get all the way from over there to here, then back over there again?
And Danae says she's deadly around the corner with a flip flop.
Hey, I'm gonna say I used to laugh at my friends when their mom would use a flip flop. Like, seriously, y'all scared of that? Don't you try riding with my mama?
Keith says his grandma used a privet limb, shed the skin, and then leave off and hold on.
That ain't no fun either.
Worst part when they used to make you go pick your own switch.
Yeah, grandma used to do that to me.
Bad switch. Had the right flexibility.
Yeah. You got the wrong one. They send you back out to get the right one.
Yep.
No, it's bad when they go back out to pick one. You only got so many times to play around with that, and it's over with.
Or you get to wait for your father to get home. My kids used to laugh.
One could hear.
It was
tell your daddy.
Well, by the time my daddy beat me, I already got beat by my mama, and probably whoever told her, right? What was going on?
I was about ready to say, yeah, whoever told her you're over your friend's mama's house, she done got you.
Yeah.
Your mama coming down the road mad as a wet chicken, ready to tearing you up all the way home. Say, wait till your daddy gets home. And then by that time, you hear the wheels rolling.
I was like, you get beat by your neighbor, and she had your mama's phone number, so she would call up your mama. You wouldn't believe what I just had to do to these kids over here. And then you walk in the door, and you're getting beat as you get in the phone because your mama's embarrassed your neighbor had to call. And then wait till your mama gets home. Then your daddy beat you because your mama had to beat you because the neighbor beat you, right?
Oh, yeah.
You go to school the next day, and you're kind of squirming in the seat, and they already know what happened. Oh, your mama got you, didn't she? Then your daddy and the neighbor. Oh, yeah, get paddled by the principal. We called it the Board of Education because you get to the office and get paddled. And if you had a real mean principal, he would have drilled holes in that paddle. So you got
you're whistling.
Yeah.
You hear that thing whistling.
Yeah. I was
an angel. Smart aleck.
To be whipped. And then so I should probably go whip for that one. That's hilarious, CJ.
Grandma would give me her kitchen knife to cut a switch and say, if you turn the blade, I'll whip you more. Yeah, that's I got some of them beatings until my dad got tired beatings, and my dad didn't get tired too quick.
That's it, Steve.
Yeah, I laugh about it now. But I used to cry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Janet didn't know what to make her. Miss Janet, home still.
Oh, I'm still working on my honeycomb blanket, Miss Janet. This is my last patch of white, and then I got one more roll of yarn to get through, and I'll be putting this thing together finally.
You've been whittling on that thing probably a month now.
Girl, I'm making these patches in my sleep. No joke.
Michael Buck said the best I remember is my dad saying, you made your mama mad. She made me mad. Now I'm going to make you mad.
Hey, Danae, how did you miss that? Because they still whooped butt when I was in school.
She was probably good.
They broke paddles on me.
It was a tough road. My dad was like Indiana Jones with that military web belt, man. That thing, he could bring it off he could unbuckle. You could hear him unbuckling it, and he'd pull it out like a sword, and that thing would come flying out. And I swear he'd hit me one time as he was coming out, pow, and then he'd beat you around in a circle. If you went around a circle, that belt was just steady tearing it up.
Ooh, no, that's one thing I did not do. My daddy had a bad back. And if you even thought about running, son, you talk about put it on you. But I'm glad for every time that they put that switch in my behind and every time they put that belt on my behind. Some folks may watch this and go, I can't believe y'all talking about that abuse. But there wasn't no abuse involved.
We
That
call
Well,
was,
that wasn't abuse back then.
love.
that's it. They lining your tail out. I was telling Hannah a story not long ago. I was probably 6 or 7 years old, and my only living grandma that I ever met, we was going to her graveside service. And I remember very, very vividly my daddy telling me, because I would cut up with my little cousins. Well, they didn't get the belt or switch, so they just done what they wanted to do. They was more of that 1, 2, 3, you better stop. Well, mom and daddy didn't count. You just do what I say. And
Now you got a warning look and maybe one verbal warning if you were lucky.
that's it. You had better be on your best behavior. And whenever those words come out of mom and daddy's mouth, you knew what they meant.
Yeah, I mean, it was not a happy times.
That's
Well,
not from the tail end anyway.
I think I had one grandparent never put a belt to me, never spanked me, nothing. And there was nothing in this world I wouldn't do for that woman to the day she died.
Mm-hmm.
She never laid a hand on me. I did everything she ever asked me.
My daddy only had to whip me one good time, and that was plenty. That has literally lasted me the rest of my life to this day.
I got it about one good time a week.
A week? Only once a week?
Every day kind of thing. But it only took one time with my daddy. And that was it. So I like that, Danae. It's not abuse. It's the school of get it together.
There you go.
It was, but you know what? You look back on it now. I'm not dead. Did all right. You know what I mean?
That's it.
So you can look at it as abuse, or you can look at it as good parenting. Because nowadays,
good parenting.
Absolutely.
Nowadays these kids are kind of out of control, and the only thing that they can do with that whoopers.
Yeah,
today I wouldn't trust a kid that said he's gonna shoot you. Better look, that kid's probably gonna shoot you. Get the heck out of there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
These things that I know what happens when you shot your brother with a frog in a slingshot. That's what I never did.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But I'm gonna be tempted to go buy me a slingshot now.
To see if you can shoot a frog.
Oh my God.
That is hilarious.
That's it, James.
Next time me and my younger brother get together, but me and him, we still act like we're 10 years old. And I'm telling you, I'm going to shoot the mess out of him with a frog and a slingshot. Zach ain't even know what to think when that
We're going to have to put that one up there with Mark Miller in that shotgun situation. That was pretty good. Mm.
They don't hold up to the
I'll probably be laughing about that all week.
Every time I see a frog, I'm going to think about that.
There's frogs all over my yard.
Oh my God. I mean, we had slingshots growing up, but we just picked up rocks or pine cones. I never thought to pick up a frog.
I could never have a slingshot. All I ever heard from Daddy was that thing to put your eye out. But he had no problem handing me a gun to go shoot.
Yeah.
Never got it, you know. Well, okay.
Golly, you know how many BB gun wars we got into after Mom and Daddy threatening us? Don't y'all be shooting at each other. But it
just gave you the idea to do it.
Yeah. Cowboys and Indians with real guns. Buddy, it was on. Yeah, Keith, I don't that grossed me out too much. My brothers would do that and cow patties. I wasn't fixing to touch that mess. I get me a rod.
I was just looking. I've got a photo somewhere in my Facebook
How
that
would
had.
I would get on with it?
I don't know, but it always goes there at the end of the show. Somebody gets a whooping. It makes for a good laugh. We got through our beekeeping part.
I had a photo somewhere on my Facebook in all these photos that of my dad's that look that you say when you got that look as a warning. I've got a picture of that somewhere, and I'm and I got it saved to my Facebook so I can go back and look at that. I knew the whooping was coming,
Mm-hmm.
and now I can't find it. I'm gonna have to look.
Man, Steve Amos, I imagine them baby walnuts will put a welt on your behind. Good grief.
Felt like a frozen paintball.
Heck, I forgot.
Those hurt.
Yeah, they hurt.
I forgot.
Now I know what we would do as a kid, and we called them. I don't know the real names. Somebody may know the real name of them, but we called them kookaburras.
Mm.
And they're like a sand spur on a stick, if you will. But we would pluck them things off and run up behind one another and just what? Yep,
Rake someone with them.
Pieces thrown up. That ain't a pain you forget, is it, Steve?
No, he probably still got a welt from one of them things.
I'm still stuck on the frogs and slingshot.
Don't give Ollie no idea.
That'd be the first one I hit behind Zach, because his mama won't let him take a slingshot home.
Fresh road apples make a wonderful splat on the side of your brother's head.
Oh, I bet they do. I'd fling rotten pears at them. Mom and Daddy had a pear tree out there.
There's them old persimmons, the small, little small persimmons.
Till you find out one isn't quite ripened all the way like that. You hit him with a little bit too hard pear in the
head. Man down. Don't you go crying to mama.
No.
Danae's talking about a cattle prod works good for letting your sisters to do getting your sisters to do what you want.
Yeah.
I'm in control now.
They hear that thing and then they're like, oh.
That's some good
I've been
stories.
hit with a cattle prod. The cattle prod hurts.
Well, evidently I got more pictures on Facebook than I realized. Way too many.
Y'all give me some good laughs this evening. We sure needed that.
Seriously.
I'll probably have to go back and watch this part tomorrow.
Watch chat replay.
Yeah.
I was telling Ian, I'm kind of excited. We're not even having a real Monday tomorrow. We're doing that bee cutout instead of regular work. So I'm not dreading Monday morning quite as bad.
No, we're gonna this Monday will be laid back.
I'll tell you what, I was so jazzed today with that swarm. I've never been in that many bees at one time.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I can't say. Well, I've been in a bunch of bees before, but not an actual swarm like that. That many bees in a swarm.
I can't wait to go check your video out.
Well, Bruce Jenny had when I've helped him extract his honey. They take their boxes out on a trailer and let the bees, scavenge what was left in the comb. And then a bunch of them flying around. I'm standing out there with my hands open like that, enjoying the buzzing around. But that wasn't actually a swarm. They're just getting something to eat and flying off, These girls were all over the place. I got good shots of it against the sky. They were everywhere.
Oh, it's
And
a
I'm thinking it's about 10 pounds swarm.
it's a peaceful feeling. The best way we describe it, being out wandering swarm, especially. Hannah still have to suit up now to get out there in them, but beforehand we would just go
I would just
sit.
go sit in the middle of them.
And I love doing that. I mean, I was so excited. I'd never seen so many bees with their butt in the air at one time. Fanning the nasing off, and you can smell it.
I usually get that banana scent.
Hey, Larimore had a question. He said he's got one colony that will only use their top entrance. They keep propolizing the bottom entrance.
Propolizing, not propolizing.
We're not Yankees down here, y'all. It's propolis.
Well, I have
to do their thing. That's what, if it's not
personal preference, too.
Mm-hmm. Well, the only thing I tell you is just block that rascal off the best you can, and they'll figure out that other entrance.
Well,
Get them to come back down.
I mean, is it going to hurt them?
Yeah.
They want to use the top entrance?
No, it ain't going to hurt them. It's just they done found another route to come in and out. That's all it is.
And as you add supers, they got to find their way all the way up.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, it's just a personal thing. If you'd rather them use your bottom entrance as a one way in and one way out, or.
But I have learned something in my short time being a beekeeper. Them bees got a reason for everything they do. And they know what they're doing.
The only time that I would maybe worry about that is whenever you're getting into the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if they're a smaller colony, then I'd probably have a little more cause for concern. But right now, with everything fixing to just fire up, flows fixing to kick on for everybody, buddy, I'd let them rip. I wouldn't worry about them.
He said he opened the bottom and plugged the top with wax, and they chewed it out and propolized the bottom. Yeah, I mean, I just let them go with it, man. If they're fighting that hard
to
keep it up there, they got a reason for it. It's doing something to make their life easier, apparently.
Moore's Homestead has a what I was thinking is that they have the entrance at the top. They're probably going to have their brood more towards the top.
He said, "Roll on."
Yeah, probably so. Especially if you ain't got no excluder trying to keep her down in your bottom two boxes. Or I imagine you at least have 2 boxes per brood chamber, then start stacking your supers on top of that.
Mm-hmm. That's a good song too, Keith.
Yes, sir.
Now it's stuck in my head. Don't we all, DC?
He says he stays down, so it just may be a convenient thing. Cause like with the horizontal hive out there, we called ourselves helping this colony during the summertime. And let's see, year before last, I think it was, we had just let this one colony take that whole 30 frame, and we filled it up with 30 frames, and the whole colony, they about filled, I'm gonna say about 27 of those 30 frames were either honey, brood, pollen, whatever it was. So it started getting on in the summertime pretty good bit. Well, we noticed after everybody's coming home during the evening time from working in the field, they gathering up and bearding on the outside of the box, and we was like, well, we'll open up this one side. Yeah, we're gonna help y'all out. Let some more air ventilate through here. So we opened up one entrance, and we put some wire over it to keep from robbers getting in. Well, little did we know until we started cleaning the colony out after they had gotten beetle infestated. But once we started cleaning that box out, we happened to look at that entrance. They didn't like what we done. They sealed, I mean, literally from end to end, top to bottom, they sealed that whole entrance off with propolis.
It was a solid wall of propolis across there.
Well, y'all didn't like what we done for you, apparently. So
We was letting out the cool air they was generating in there, Rick. That's what I say. They know what they need better than we do a whole lot of times. So if they're fighting you that hard to stay with that entrance, just me personally, I'd just let her go. Or let them go.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead, Bob.
It's 10:30 my time. So
Oh my gosh, this is nothing.
Ooh, we done. How much time? 2 hours and 30 minutes flew by this evening.
And it only took me 2 cups of coffee. That makes what, 13 cups of that Death Wish coffee I've drank today.
I guess we're gonna have to. Well, he done gone, so he can't give you the link.
Mm-hmm.
Have to get you another packet of.
Oh, it won't be long. No, I already saved it in the card on Amazon.
they don't sell that at your Walmart.
Huh?
They don't sell that at your Walmart, Death Wish. They sell it here.
I'm sure they do, but I avoid Walmart like the plague.
Me too.
I hate going in there.
Listen,
I try to avoid it.
You talk about make my blood pressure go through the roof. Make me go in Walmart.
Larry Moore, is that a single or double box? I think Mr. Mike Conley was wanting to know on that, if I'm right. No, he headed out.
Maybe him.
Yeah. Hopefully we get the answer for you there. Oh, Mike.
You
But
said
I'm asking double. Okay.
Hey, DC said I think an upper entrance helps them dry out. That's interesting.
Well, I guess we get that,
That ventilation going.
especially down here, help get that humidity on us out of there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the heat's going to rise, so if they got to open it up there to let it escape.
Let it
Makes
rip.
sense.
Yeah. We fix to wrap it up, gentlemen.
Yeah.
sounds like a plan.
Ladies, too.
Yeah, you always leave us out.
Well, it's one of them, like, guys things.
Well, you didn't say guys. You said females.
Everybody is guys, right?
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, in the South, that's acceptable as a group term, but gentleman most definitely does not include the ladies.
My apologies on that happened to you.
You're also being
Mm-hmm.
very generous with the term gentleman when you're speaking with us.
Rick.
I wouldn't say that out loud. Danae, yeah, but Steve, come on.
Y'all don't get on the too bad.
You need to go back to the school and get it together.
Well, I keep up. Y'all gonna have switches after me after all that talk.
Oh, big time. I'm going to get my mama's buggy whip.
Can't catch me. I'm a grown man now. I will run.
You run away, you can fight another day, right?
No, sir. Yeah, calm her down in the morning.
Yeah, he'll have coffee made when I wake up.
You better find a nice spot in that couch next to Jasper.
Mm.
Turn that dishwasher on. Oh, let me get these real quick. Yeah.
Okay.
Turn that dishwasher
I wish he'd turn that dishwasher on. There's a few of them over there. I've been kind of waiting to see.
Actually, if you figure out how much you spend make each meal to feed him, right?
Yeah, come on,
How
man.
much it costs for each meal? You probably could have had the money saved up. You didn't feed him.
Yeah. And Steve Amos was joking about that in the chat earlier when everybody was talking about the M word.
Mm-hmm.
And well, when you started the whole, oh, she can't hear, say it, say it. And then it was like, I'm waiting on a plate to go flying. And Steve said, it's better to have a plate than an iron skillet. So I wrote back to her and I was like, yeah, but something about she generally won't cook for the one who angered her. So he wrote back and if she does happily cook, you need to switch plates with her when she's not cooking.
The M word he was talking about was machine, washing machine.
Yeah,
Dishwashing machine.
that's it.
She might get one.
Mine.
IGHT.
Mm-hmm.
IGHT.
You were just like jumping on that red alert button.
I can say this now because like after Ed's live, I sent him a text and I told him, I said, brother, I apologize about me getting so wound up on you live and all that good stuff. And, he messaged me back. No, you cool, brother. And I did tell him, I wasn't going to tell you this until after the show, but I did tell him, I said, just keep your ears open because I'll aggravate her with something somewhere along those lines. So keep your ears open.
Yeah.
I love you.
Oh, I bet you do. But y'all been plotting on a way to push my button.
I was plotting, so don't blame me.
That's why you let me take just enough of a nap.
I played along with it. That's why I said something about when you got up to leave, he could say the M word.
Yeah.
I knew you took the phone with you. I knew you were going to see it.
No, I didn't take the phone with me, but literally, like my coffee cup is right there. I can hear it.
I'd have had to whisper it to y'all.
Mm-hmm. What did old Si say? I can hear like an eagle.
Yeah.
You be standing right next to some people, they can't hear what you say, but they walk out the room, you say something quiet. What'd you say? Yeah, they heard what you said.
Danae, put all your red alert buttons in there.
That's my hearing. I constantly, we can sit here, and it's not that I'm doing the man thing and ignoring conversation or whatever we're doing.
Y'all believe that?
Y'all, this is the truth. But she can be in her normal voice, and I'm constantly, huh? What'd you say? I can't pick it up. But by golly, I can hear a cricket break wind 100 yards through the woods over there.
That is no joke. That is no joke.
It's a correct frequency.
I don't know what it is, but there's something about it. I can hear the distance.
I think it's selective hearing.
What is it?
That disorder that affects men.
What is it the kids say nowadays? That they're talking about their truth, speaking their truth.
Yeah, that's it.
His truth right now.
This is true. Oh, William got him a swarm out of a peach tree.
Awesome, brother. Heck yeah.
Danae believes you.
Thank you, Danae.
I still got my back buttons, not yours.
Well, it's good to see everybody getting on swarms and
Yeah.
getting them yards built up.
There's a lot of people talking about storms and things.
Just remember, we got the ship going on championship.
Did Joey ever enter in that? Because he said he caught so many swarms, he finally just took his traps down already.
Joey never sent me anything he didn't really enter in, but he's
I
caught
don't know if he did or not. But I know he said he's done caught so many swarms, he's took his traps down.
There it is.
Danae's got my back. Jack's got yours.
I was going to say that. I was thinking, I bet you old Jack got my back.
Mm.
Thank you, bud. I appreciate that. Well, yeah.
I'm getting exhaustion delirious here.
We have absolutely enjoyed this evening. We appreciate everybody coming in, the chats. Thank y'all for James Noel.
Membership.
Yeah, Mr. Steve Amos. Thank y'all very much on that end. Y'all have a blessed week.
He said, I got you, girl.
I see how all this works now.
Hey, there's like 3 of us up against 80 of y'all in here. Don't you begrudge me my support.
All right, I'll let you have it on this one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. Thank you much. God bless you. And Lord willing, we'll see y'all on the next one. Y'all take care.
Good
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
All right.